Hello and welcome back to another deep dive. Today we are tuning our dials to a very specific frequency.
We are indeed.
We're taking a trip, to the airways. We're zooming right in on the indie rock landscape for, what is it, the week of January 19, 2026?
It's a really fascinating snapshot in time, and the data we're looking at, it's pretty comprehensive. It's all coming from This Is Only Rock Radio, or TIO.
TIORR, right, based out of Spain.
Yeah, out of Spain. And they're a key player in something called the Radio Indie Alliance, which is important. But what they've given us for this week, it's not just one simple top 10 list.
No, it's not. They've handed us 5.
5 distinct charts.
5. That is a massive amount of music to parse through. We aren't just skimming the surface today. We're really going to be, digging into the weeds of what's being played right now.
Exactly. And to lay it out for you, we have TIORR 1, we have TIORR 2, TIORR 3. Then there's the TIORR Groover list, and finally, the TIORR Emerging Artists list.
So the mission today is to unpack all 5.
Right. We want to understand who's really dominating the airwaves. We want to see who's sitting at the top, who's climbing the ranks, and maybe most interestingly, what trends are bubbling up in song titles and, artered branding.
It's really a look at the vibe of the indie scene in early 2026, because when I first looked at these lists, I saw a lot of names I didn't recognize, which is always exciting.
Oh, for sure.
But then you pointed out something. Frankly, it's kind of wild. A statistical anomaly?
The anomaly. Yeah, it jumped out at me immediately.
So tease that for us a little bit. What are we talking about here?
Well, usually when you look at radio charts, especially indie charts, you might see an artist dominating one list. Maybe they have the song of the week.
Sure.
Or maybe you see them scattered across the lower runs with a couple of different tracks from a new album. But this week, on the week of January 19th, we have one single band.
One band.
Managing to top 2 different major charts simultaneously.
And just to be super clear, they aren't topping 2 charts with the same hit song, are they?
No.
Wow.
And that's the key. That's what makes this so unusual.
Wow.
They are holding the #1 spot on 2 separate playlists with 2 completely different tracks. It's a level of saturation and dominance that really speaks volumes about their current momentum. It's just, it's so rare to see lightning strike twice in the same week like that.
We are definitely going to get to who that powerhouse band is in just a moment. But I love how you frame this whole discussion. It's not just, a list of names we're reading off.
No.
It's a snapshot of creative output.
Precisely. We're going to see everything from the so-called groovers to the emerging artists, and we're seeing a really, really wide spectrum of sound that's just implied by these titles alone.
Oh, yeah.
You've got aggressive rock, you have these introspective ballads, you have some truly bizarre band names that we definitely need to talk about.
Oh, there's some absolute doozies on here.
And we even have some surprising thematic connections that are popping up across totally different lists.
Okay, so let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right in. We are starting with what you're calling the powerhouse charts, which would be TIORR 1 and TIORR 1, 2.
Right. And context is key here. TIORR 1 and TIORR 2, they really seem to be the flagship heavy rotation lists for the station.
So this is the primetime stuff.
Exactly. If you're tuning into This Is Only Rock Radio in Spain this week, these are the tracks you are most likely hearing over and over again. These are the heavy hitters defining the station's sound right now.
All right, so let's get into TIORR 1. Sitting right at the top, the king of the hill for the week of January 19th, 2026, is a band called Blacklist Union.
Blacklist Union, yes. And they are leading the pack with a song titled DYIN for You.
And we have to talk about the spelling. I mean, right away.
Yeah.
It's dying, spelled D-Y-I-N apostrophe.
Yeah.
And then the number 4 and the letter U.
It is such a classic stylistic choice. It signals a certain grit, you know, a kind of street-level urgency. It feels like sleaze rock or hard rock, just from looking at the typography. It reminds me of the old tech-speak era, or maybe even Prince, but with a much dirtier edge.
For sure. And being at #1 on the flagship chart, that means this track is connecting with listeners in a huge way. It is, for all intents and purposes, the anthem of the week.
No question about it.
So Blacklist Union is at #1. Let's look at who's chasing them. Standing on the podium at #2 is Vinyl Floor.
Vinyl Floor,
With the song Mr. Rubinstein, single edit.
The specificity there is really interesting to me, that little parenthetical single edit.
What does that tell you?
Well, it implies there's a longer, probably more sprawling album version of this song somewhere. The band name itself, Vinyl Floor, suggests a kind of retro sound, right?
Analog.
Maybe something analog, warm, a bit of 70s rock influence perhaps. But the fact that they're specifically pushing a single edit that suggests they're really smart about radio formats.
Gotcha.
They've trimmed the fat, they've cut it down to get that number 2 spot.
And rounding out the top 3, we have the metal Byrds with momentum.
Now, names can be deceiving, but the metal Byrds, and that's spelled with a Y, it just strongly suggests a heavier sound.
You think so?
It feels like a fusion of classic rock naming conventions. You think of the Byrds, but with this clear metallic edge. It's a genre mashup right in the name.
And the title, Momentum, is just... It's incredibly fitting for a band sitting in the top 3.
It is. They literally have momentum. It's perfect branding.
All right, let's move down into the mid-chart of TIORR R1. At number 4, we have Shawn Adam Williams.
Shawn Adam Williams, yeah.
And the song is Rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake is such an evocative title. It immediately paints a picture. It suggests danger, the desert, something coiled and ready to strike.
Very American rock image.
Very. It sort of places the artist in this lineage of outlaw country or maybe desert rock. You know what you're getting into with a title like that.
Then at number 5, we have a total shift. Johanna Saint-Pierre with Multicolor.
And this really stands out as a sharp contrast to the Rattlesnakes and metal Byrds, doesn't it?
Completely.
Multicolor suggests something vibrant, maybe psychedelic, or even pop-infused. It really breaks up the aggressive imagery we've seen so far in the top 5. It tells me this playlist has some real sonic diversity.
Okay, and at number 6, we have Chucky Trading Co.
Chucky Trading Co.
And the song is White Widow.
White Widow is another really potent image. It could be a reference to the spider or, perhaps the cannabis strain.
Could be either.
Both are culturally loaded terms. But the band name, Chucky Trading Co., sounds almost like a business collective rather than a rock band.
It does. It's strange.
It adds this layer of mystery. It sounds like a shell company for a good time or something.
I like that. Let's close out the top 10 for TIORR 1. Coming in at number 7, we have Zeebrax with Cherry Girl.
Zeebrax, spelled with 2 E's and an X. That feels very glam rock. Like, it belongs on a neon sign outside a club. And Cherry Girl is a trope as old as rock and roll itself. It signals a throwback vibe, good time rock and roll. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel.
It's trying to make you dance.
Exactly.
Okay, number 8 is Embertears with the Conqueror.
Now that is epic.
Fantastic.
Just epic. Embertears sounds like a goth or maybe a symphonic metal band name. It's combining embers and tears.
Very dramatic.
And the Conqueror just reinforces that. You don't write a 3-minute pop song called The Conqueror. That sounds like a saga. That sounds like it has a 4-minute guitar solo in the middle.
Number 9 is Numb Surprise with A Forest.
A Forest is, of course, a famous song title. The Cure has that iconic track.
Right.
So whether this is a cover or an original with the same name, the band name Numb Surprise suggests a certain shoegaze or alternative rock influence. It's a bit detached, a bit ironic. It feels cooler, a bit more removed than the Cherry Girl energy.
And finally, rounding out the top 10 of Tier 1, we have
The Major Resolve. It sounds very earnest, doesn't it? Like a band with a real mission statement.
It does.
And Clouds is so open to interpretation. It could be fluffy and light, or it could be gray and depressing. But, finishing the top 10 keeps them firmly in that heavy rotation conversation.
So that is the first Powerhouse chart, TIORR 1. A really solid mix. But now's where it gets really interesting. Let's move to TIORR 2.
The Anomaly chart.
The headline here is, it's Blacklist Union. Again. They are number 1 on TIORR 2, but with a completely different track. This time it's Up in Smoke.
This is the bold statement we were talking about in the intro. For an indie act to hold the number 1 spot on 2 concurrent lists with separate releases is very simple. It's just incredibly difficult.
How does that even happen?
Well, it suggests they probably released an album or maybe an EP where the DJs just couldn't decide which track was the single.
So they just played both.
They just started spinning both. And clearly the listeners are responding to both of them. You have Up in Smoke and DYIN for You just dominating the week of January 19th. It is undeniably the week of Blacklist Union.
That is seriously impressive. But they aren't the only ones on this chart. At number 2 on TIORR 2, we have a band called Drugs in Sport.
I love this band name.
It's great.
Drugs in Sport. It's provocative. It sounds like a tabloid headline. It feels very punk.
And the song is Embrace Absurdity.
Which feels like genuine philosophical advice for the modern world. It's almost a command. In a world that makes no sense, don't fight it. Embrace it. It fits perfectly with a name like Drugs in Sport.
At number 3, we have Kasem with Brain Stew.
Again, Brain Stew. A title that's heavily associated with Green Day. So there's a heavy 90s nostalgia vibe potentially happening here.
Could be.
And Kasem is a great name. It's punchy, single word, it's efficient, it stands out on the car dashboard.
All right, moving to the mid-chart of TIORR 2. Number 4 is Astral Rock.
Astral Rock, yeah.
And the song is Bags Packed.
Astral rock sounds like a genre descriptor that became a band name.
It does.
It implies space, the cosmos, psychedelic elements. But bags packed implies leaving, moving on, touring. It's a classic road song theme.
So it grounds it.
It totally grounds the astral concept in the reality of being a musician on the road. I love that.
Number 5 is Mindless Hope with Infinite Blue.
Mindless hope is a fascinating oxymoron. Is hope mindless? Or is it the only thing that keeps us going?
That's a great question.
And Infinite Blue pairs beautifully with that. It sounds expansive, like the sky or the ocean. This feels like the thinker's rock song of the list. Very atmospheric.
Number 6 is Raphael Tate with All of Me.
The classic soul or ballad title, All of Me, suggests total vulnerability.
Right.
Raphael Tate sounds like a solo artist, maybe a singer-songwriter, just putting it all out there. It's a really sharp contrast with this cynicism of drugs and sport, just a few spots up.
Okay, number 7. This is the one. This is the one that made me do a double take.
Oh, I know which one you mean.
We have a band called the Rartel, and the song is titled No Dickhead Policy.
It's distinct, isn't it?
It's not subtle.
No, it is not. And that's the beauty of the indie charts. You can have Infinite Blue and Clouds, and then right next to them you have No Dickhead Policy.
It's so blunt.
It is. It's a rule for life. It's probably a rule for their live shows or their tour bus. It cuts through the noise. You see that title on a list.
You have to click it.
You almost have to, just to see what on earth it sounds like. It is effective marketing through sheer blunt force.
Absolutely. It's the clickbait of song titles, but in the best possible way.
Okay, moving on to number 8. Jordyn Rayne with Hellhound.
Hellhound. This brings us right back to that blues rock mythology. Robert Johnson, selling your soul at the crossroads.
My whole vibe, exactly.
Jordyn Rayne sounds like a name made for that kind of storytelling. It feels swampy, dark, and really rooted in tradition.
Number 9. WhiteRoomNightmare with Space Cadet.
WhiteRoomNightmare, is that all one word?
It looks like it, yeah. Wow, that is a claustrophobic image. A nightmare in a sterile white room. It's very Black Mirror.
It is.
And Space Cadet is a term for someone whose head is in the clouds, or maybe someone who is literally lost in space. The combination of the band name and the song title suggests a theme of mental isolation or dissociation. It's definitely a darker entry on the chart.
And closing out TIORR 2 at number 10 is Conrad Noto's American Sound Crew with Voodoo Shadows.
That is a mouthful of a band name. Conrad Noto's American Sound Crew.
It's a lot.
It sounds like a revue, like a big ensemble with horns and backup singers.
Right.
And Voodoo Shadows suggests a swamp rock, New Orleans kind of vibe. It's a very specific flavor to end the chart on. It implies a big full sound.
So that's the powerhouse duo of TIORR 1 and 2.
Sure.
We've got Blacklist Union just reigning supreme, but plenty of competition from philosophical punks and voodoo ensembles.
Right, a mix.
Now let's pivot. We are going to the third curated list, which is TIORR 3.
Right, the alternative selection. This list often feels a bit more eclectic, maybe a bit more experimental. It feels like the place where the DJs take a few more risks.
Well, looking at number 1, it certainly starts with a bang. The artist is Tommy Gunn, and the song is BALLTEARER.
And you have to specify.
I have to specify. BALLTEARER is in all caps.
All caps usually means shouting. Tommy Gun is obviously an aggressive name referencing the weapon, or maybe the Clash song, and BALLTEARER. That's Australian slang, right?
I think so.
It usually means something really intense or excellent, or maybe even painful. It implies high energy. You don't name a soft ballad BALLTEARER. This is going to be a high-octane rock track.
Definitely not a lullaby. At number 2, we have Yuri G with Hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy. Now, looking at the spelling, it looks like it ends in CY, whereas the word is usually SY.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a play on hypocrisy and democracy.
Oh, that's interesting. It could be.
It could be a clever play on words. And Yuri G, perhaps a reference to Yuri Gagarin, the cosmonaut. If so, we're seeing a lot of space themes this week. Astral rock, Space Cadet, and now maybe Yuri G. But hypocrisy suggests political commentary, a punk or protest angle.
Number 3 is Paul Molinario with I Need Your Love Right Now.
The parenthetical right now adds so much urgency.
It does.
It's not just I need your love, it's I need it immediately. It's classic rock desperation. It changes the tone from a simple statement to a demand.
Okay, moving into the mid-pack of Tier 3. Number 4 is Raphael Tate.
That's a great name.
With Angels of the Silence.
That is a very poetic title. Angels of the Silence, Raphael Tate. It sounds European, maybe Italian. This might be bringing a different cultural texture to the list. It sounds atmospheric, maybe even cinematic. It's a nice break from the BALLTEARER energy at the top.
It is. Number 5 is Wage with Vents.
Short, sharp, industrial. Wage vents. It sounds like the machinery of a city.
Yeah.
Probably post-punk or hard rock. It's monosyllabic and punchy. It sounds like work.
Okay, number 6 is, I have to ask, is this a band name? Effective 12:01 p.m.
I believe it is.
And the song is Lack of You.
That is wonderfully bureaucratic, isn't it? Effective 12:01 p.m. It sounds like a memo from HR or a legal document.
It really does.
But paired with Lack of You, it creates this little narrative. Maybe effective 12:01 p.m. I am breaking up with you. Or effective 12:01 p.m. the official time I started missing you.
Wow.
It takes the language of business and applies it to heartbreak. It's actually quite clever. It modernizes the breakup song by framing it as a contract termination.
I hadn't thought of it that way. That is really cool. Okay, rounding out the TIORR 3 list. Number 7 is Greenness with Hilltop.
Greenness and Hilltop, nature themes, very pastoral. After the industrial vents and the corporate effective, this feels like a breath of fresh air.
For sure.
Probably folk or indie folk.
Number 8 is Nevin with High Water.
High water usually signals trouble. The floods are coming. Nevin, just the one name, keeps it mysterious. It fits with the elemental themes we're seeing across the charts.
Number 9 is the Ovines with 10 Street Mile.
The Ovines. That means sheep-like, doesn't it?
It does. Relating to sheep.
That's an interesting choice for a band name. Maybe they're commenting on following the herd, or maybe they see themselves as the black sheep. 10 Street Mile sounds like a localized reference, maybe a specific stretch of road in their hometown. It feels like a working-class anthem.
And number 10 on TIORR 3 is Duncan C. with Pure Emotion, remastered.
Ah, the remastered tag. We saw single edit earlier. Now, remastered suggests this is an older track that Duncan C. has polished up for a new audience. He wants us to hear it in high fidelity. And the title Pure Emotion tells you exactly what you're going to get. There's no irony here, just feelings. It's a very vulnerable way to close out the alternative list.
So that's TIORR 3, a real mix of aggressive slang, bureaucracy, and pure emotion. Now, we're going to shift gears entirely. We're moving to the TR Groover list.
Yeah, and the name Groover implies a shift in tempo. We should be looking for rhythm here, for swagger, maybe something you can dance to or at least bob your head to. This should be the fun chart.
Well, let's see. Leading the Groovers at number 1 is Elsia with Born to Lead Mix.
And there's the key word, mix. Just like single edit and remastered, mix tells us this is a specific version of the song. Born to Lead sounds empowering, and if it's a mix, it's probably designed for the club or your workout playlist. High energy to start the list.
At number 2, Joshua Jameson with 15.
15. Such a nostalgic age. You know, Taylor Swift has a song called 15. Alice Cooper has I'm 18.
Right.
Numbers as titles are powerful because they instantly evoke a specific time in your life. It triggers memories for you, the listener, before the song even starts.
Number 3 is Berthold Kusserow with The Friend.
The Friend. Okay, keep that in mind. Just park that title. I think we might see a theme developing here.
Interesting foreshadowing. Okay, number 4 on the Groover list is Year of the Dog.
Year of the Dog. Cool name.
The song is My Friends Want to Die.
Whoa. Okay.
That took a turn.
It did. We went from The Friend straight to My Friends Want to Die. And this is on the Groover list.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That is a fascinating contrast. You usually expect upbeat, happy tracks on a Groover list, but My Friends Want to Die suggests a very dark, perhaps emo or nihilistic lyrical content, all hidden inside a catchy rhythm.
It's a classic trick.
It's a classic songwriting trick, sad lyrics, happy music. The Smiths did it, Foster the People did it. It seems like Year of the Dog is tapping into that same disconnect.
Number 5 is Transgalactica with Why Are You Afraid of Progress?
That is a question posed as a title, and Transgalactica is a fantastic name. It sounds sci-fi, futurist.
For sure.
Why Are You Afraid of Progress? Sounds like a manifesto from an alien civilization or a tech billionaire. It challenges the listener, it feels confrontational, but in a cerebral way.
Number 6 is Johnny B with My Darkest Times.
Again, with the dark themes on the groover list. My darkest times. I noticed the D and T are lowercase. It feels intimate, confessional. It seems like the groover list is actually where the most emotional struggle is happening this week.
It's very strange. Now, number 7, Brace Yourself. The artist is DYIN. The song is Hulk on Heroin.
Hulk on heroin. That's visceral.
It's gritty.
It is shocking imagery. You take the Hulk, this symbol of unstoppable physical power, and you pair it with heroin, a symbol of destructive addiction and decay. It paints a picture of a giant brought low. It's incredibly heavy imagery for a song title. It's a title you just can't ignore.
No way. Number 8 is Positive Chaos with Bowl Me Over.
Positive chaos, is that all one word?
Yep.
That feels like a good description of this whole list, actually. Bowl me over is an idiom for being surprised or knocked down. It fits the energy. It's about being overwhelmed.
Number 9 is Mark Roca with Day by Day from the album Odyssey.
I like that they cited the source album Odyssey. It gives it weight. Day by Day is a classic perseverance theme. It suggests a long journey, which fits perfectly with an album title like Odyssey.
And closing out the groovers at number 10 is Rogues Gallery with Run to You.
Rogues Gallery is a great band name. It implies a collection of villains or misfits.
Yeah.
And Run to You is another classic rock title. Bryan Adams covered that ground pretty well. But coming from a Rogues Gallery, maybe it's a bit more menacing. Maybe it's not a romantic run, but a predatory one. Or maybe it's about the villains finding redemption. That's a great name-title combo to make you think.
So that's the groover list.
Yeah.
Definitely darker than I expected.
Very dark grooves this week. A lot of struggle and survival themes packed in there.
Now, finally, we have the TIORR Emerging Artists list. This is the next generation. This is the fresh blood breaking into the rotation.
These are the ones to watch. These are the songs fighting for a spot on those main charts we just talked about.
And at the number 1 spot, we have Girl with a Hawk.
Great visual name. Very distinct.
The song is I'm in Love with My Friends.
And there it is. There's the connection.
You called it.
I did. We had The Friend at number 3 on the groover list. We had My Friends Want to Die at number 4 on the groover list. And now the number 1 song on the emerging artists list is I'm in Love with My Friends.
So friendship is the trending topic of January 2026.
It really seems to be. But look at the range of emotions there. We have the simple existence of the friend, then the deep despair of My Friends Want to Die, and now the celebration, or perhaps the complication, of I'm in love with my friends. It's a whole narrative arc about social connection playing out across different charts.
That's wild.
It's fascinating to see multiple bands hitting this same thematic nerve at the exact same time.
That really is. Okay, let's look at the runners-up on the emerging list. Number 2 is Mark Valentine with You Are the Jet.
You Are the Jet. High energy, very complimentary. It frames the subject of the song as the driving force. Mark Valentine sounds like a classic rocker name.
Number 3 is The Dogmatics with Rainy Nights.
The Dogmatics? Sounds like it has punk roots, maybe? A dogma is a set of principles you don't question. Rainy Nights is a mood setter. It also adds to that whole weather theme we saw with clouds and high water.
Number 4 is Gary Dranow with Take It As It Comes.
Good advice. A very laid-back philosophy. Amidst all the hoax on heroin and the BALLTEARERs, this feels like a moment of calm.
Number 5 is Adam Sherman with Greyhound.
Greyhound implies travel, buses, running away from something. It fits with bags packed from the other list. A lot of movement themes this week. It suggests this desire to be somewhere else.
Number 6 is Mood Wings with You're Lonely Now.
Mood Wings. Is that a play on mood rings?
I have to assume so.
You're Lonely Now is a very direct accusation to the listener. Or maybe it's just a sad observation. It connects back to that friendship theme, or the lack thereof.
Now, number 7 on the emerging list creates a bit of a paradox. The band is the Peppermint Kicks.
Fun name.
The song is titled Number 1 Record.
The irony.
It is number 1 record, but it is sitting at number 7.
That is unfortunate. Or maybe it's aspirational. The Peppermint Kicks sounds like a power pop band, something bright and energetic. Naming your song number 1 record is a manifestation technique.
They're trying to will it into existence.
Exactly. But for now, they have to settle for number 7 on the emerging list.
Maybe next week.
Maybe next week. It's a brave title choice, though. You're setting yourself up for exactly this conversation if you don't hit that top spot.
For sure. Number 8 is Salvation Row with High Plains.
Salvation Row, High Plains. This sounds very Americana, very roots rock. wide open spaces. It evokes a landscape rather than a specific emotion.
Number 9 is Evan Olsen with Quit Pushing Me Away.
Relationship trouble.
Yeah.
Universal theme. It pairs well with I Need Your Love and You're Lonely Now. A lot of relationship anxiety on the charts this week, actually.
And finally, number 10 on the emerging artists list is Statch Karens with Do Ya.
Do Ya. ELO had that huge hit with Do Ya.
They did.
So if it's a cover, it's a bold choice because that is a classic track. If it's an original, it's a punchy title to end the list on. It asks a question and demands an answer.
So what does this all mean? We have looked at 50 songs across 5 different charts. We've seen Blacklist Union just completely dominate the top with 2 different tracks.
Which is incredible.
We've seen this weird obsession with friendship, both loving it and dying from it. We've seen Hulk on heroin and no dickhead policy.
It's a chaotic, vibrant mix. If we synthesize this, the week of January 19, 2026 is really characterized by bold statements. You have the aggressive branding of bands like Tommy Gun and Blacklist Union, and then you have this juxtaposition of really gritty, shocking titles like BALLTEARER against these very vulnerable, almost soft themes of clouds and multicolor.
Odd names. I mean, from the completely literal drugs and sport to the abstract greenness.
It shows that the indie scene is healthy. It's not just one sound. It's not just people copying each other. You have people experimenting with humor, with shock value, with bureaucracy in the case of effective 12.01 p.m. It just feels very, very alive.
And it highlights the importance of platforms like This Is Only Rock Radio and the Radio Indie Alliance. Because without curators putting these lists together, I would never have found the Rartel or Girl with a Hawk.
Exactly. An algorithm might not serve you no dickhead policy because it deems it too risky or offensive. But a human curator, a DJ at a station in Spain says, no, this rocks. Play it. And that is the real value of independent radio. It gives a platform to the weird, the bold, and the specific.
So here is a final thought for you to chew on, listener. I want you to consider the psychology behind these song titles. When you are scrolling through a list, does a title like No Dickhead Policy guarantee you will listen out of pure curiosity? Does that shock value actually work on you?
And conversely, does naming your song #1 record, like the Peppermint Kicks did, does that manifest its own destiny, or does it just look ironic when you land at number 7?
Great questions. If you want to dive even deeper, there's a top 25 referenced on these charts that we didn't even get to. So go explore, find out what missed the cut.
There is always more music to discover.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. Keep your ears open.
Until next time.